Straight out the South, Arkansas, where the talk is real and the vibe is raw. This South got something to say. No filters, no faking, just the truth, how we see it. So kick back, tap in, and let's get to it. The Still Country Podcast, Still Country Podcast, Still Country Podcast. Show the money, Still Country Podcast, Still Country Podcast, Still Country Podcast.
Yo, what up, people? Happy Thursday. You are at the right place at the right time. You are tuned in to the Still Country Podcast. I'm your host, Eli Isabell, aka the South Got Something to Say. And my guest, I'm going to mute you for the time being because y'all are a little loud. Hold on. Then we're going to get on right back to business. Yes, you're at the right place at the right time. Y'all, happy Thursday. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. As I say every other Thursday, I definitely appreciate you guys rocking with me. I'm seeing the views go up every week. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the fact that you take your time, take an hour of your time every other Thursday to spend it with your boy. And, you know, I'm just grateful. Listen, before we go any further, though, I would like for you all to like, share, and subscribe to the page, man. Still Country Podcast. We're coming all 2025 and beyond. So, you know, rock with your boy, man. We are here. I have a great show for you guys tonight, and I'm going to allow, like I like to do all the time, because I don't ever want to do anybody a disservice and misintroduce them or miss any of their accomplishments, achievements, what they have going on. So I'm going to allow my guests to introduce themselves. And right after that, we're going to get into Word on the Street. So I'm going to start in studio first, since she's right here beside me. People online, I'm going to unmute y'all. Stop all the noise. My first guest right here to my left, you're right. Please introduce yourself and tell the people who you are.
Hey family, I'm Monet. Happy Friday Eve. I'm so excited to be here on the Still Country Podcast. Eli, I'm so excited for you. I appreciate you inviting me here. Listen, I do want to give a shout out to Eli. He has been so consistent with the Still Country and his determination. And so give a great applause for Mr. Eli.
Thank you. Is there anything you want to promote? Anything you got going on?
No.
You're a black businesswoman. Talk about
it. No.
Okay.
I am. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I am the owner of Grace Center Mental Health Services.
There you go.
Located in Smyrna, Delaware. I am a licensed clinical therapist. I am a women's empowerment coach. I also am an adjunct at DSU, Go Hornets. And I am the proud mother of 3 wonderful children, Anthony, Nyla, and Bryson. Hopefully they're watching on tonight.
All right. See, you have some stuff to talk about. And you are 1/3 owner of the Collective Studio.
And I am 1/3 of the owner of the Collective Studio.
You're not going to tell people about your chicken farm in Millsboro?
No, I'll save it for you.
All right. We're going to get into it. All right. So we're going to move along to our next guest. Ladies first. Second guest, Miss Lady. Who are you? Tell the people who you are. You are a friend to the room. You've been here twice, right?
Yes.
You're here
Hello,
twice,
everyone. Yes, I've been here twice. Hello, everyone. I am Kiara Samuels. I am the owner of Inspired to Be Inspired. I have a lot of titles behind my name, but we're not going to go there. Follow me. Inspire the number 2, Be Inspired 7. I'm starting a new girls group. It will be starting in January for the young ladies. I'm doing 9 to 12 and then 13 to 18. It will be a mental health girls group. More details to follow.
That's awesome. That's right. Represent for the ladies. All right. Last and certainly not least, I haven't met this brother in person, but I want to thank him personally for coming through tonight and being a part of the conversation. Mr. Joe Hill, talk to the people, brother.
Hello. Can you hear me? I feel like my phone was just doing something.
You're very robotic, Joe. You're very robotic.
I don't know what's happening.
All right. I think you cleared up. Kiera,
am I clear?
It's a little scratchy. No, you're not clear.
I don't know what's happening.
You want to, once you restart your phone and come back and I add you to the stage.
Okay.
Now let's hear tell people a little bit about you. Kiara, can you talk a little bit about Joe on his behalf?
He's Joe. No. Joe, I don't know exactly what I should say. He loves to cook. He loves to host parties, decorate. He is a funny guy. Everybody loves being around him. That's the only thing I can say. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, we can go with that. And when we get Joe back, we'll bring him in. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Listen, word on the street. There's a couple of things going on that I want to touch on. I'm going to touch on this ghetto nonsense first and foremost. All right, so Kiara, I know Monet be a little bit out the loop with some things because she's not on social media like that. But I know you can speak to this. Grown men over 30, 35 yelling pause after every sentence. This is really getting an F on my nerves. Like, you're a grown man. If you can have a conversation without somebody thinking that what you're saying is a gay comment, then you got a problem. Like, hey, bro, give me one of those sticky buns. Pause. Like, are we really putting that kind of effort into that kind of nonsense consistently? So that is annoying when I hear grown men yelling pause after every sentence. I'm annoyed by that. Grown man, let's please stop. That is the equivalent of a blood putting a B word, putting B on a C on every C word that he's about to say. Like, no, I'm not cooling, I'm booling. Like, if you have the intellectual dexterity to do that, you should be doing something greater with your life. Let's just grown men with the pause. Have you experienced this, kid?
I think I hear it more in person than I do online. So I never understood why men sometimes act like they're unsure of who they are. Just because you say certain things doesn't mean that there's no sexuality behind it. So I don't get that. So teach his own, I guess.
You know what I admire about women? I admire quite a few things about women. But I admire the fact that y'all don't have to live up with some macho bullshit all the time and try to convince everybody that you're not one thing or another. You know what I mean? Like, the pressure of being a dude is just ridiculous sometimes. If you subscribe to that. So I'm going to say, yeah, pause. I'm over it. We waiting on you, Joe. Come on in, brother. We waiting on you. Yeah, I'm over the pause. One of you heard the pause?
I have not
heard everything.
Pause. No, I have not.
Well, thank goodness. Count your blessings, because it's annoying.
They're starting to say some other things too now. Like, I'm not gonna say what they say.
No, you can say it. This is Still Country Podcast.
I'm interested.
The No Diddy.
Oh yeah, I think pause replaced No Diddy.
Really? No, pause is old.
No Diddy forever, and now I feel like pause has replaced No Diddy.
No, pause they've been saying pause.
You think? I feel like I've heard it more than last month. I'm like, what do you keep saying pause for?
Well, 3 of my nephews are 21, and they've been saying pause for the longest time.
Okay. All right. They're 21. They get a pass. When I'm hearing old cats, with beards, like, you need to stop saying pause, bro. You should be secure with who you are at this point. That's just my opinion.
I'm surrounded by a lot of alpha men, and they have never said pause.
All right.
Nor have my oldest or youngest son. And I think I may be taken back by that.
Well, now you would, because you don't know. Now you know.
No, I think I would originally prior to hearing this, just because of my background.
Pause.
Pause.
It is annoying as hell. I'm like, bro,
I can imagine.
You a grown man.
I can imagine.
No one thinks you are, one thing or the other because you said something that could sound suspect to somebody. Like, anyway, all right, let's move along with the pause. I want to talk really quick about Representative Byron Dunham. He's a Republican rep from the state of Florida. He is gearing up to run for governor of the state of Florida. Now, this is a Negro who is one of Trump's lapdogs. He did a lot of campaigning for Trump in hopes of being a part of his cabinet. When it came down to it, womp womp. He was not afforded a cabinet position for Donald Trump. So now he's turning his attention to running for governor of Florida. Now, my issue with Byron Dunham, and my sister Jasmine Crockett said it so eloquently, he has gotten to a certain place and he has forgotten where he came from. He recently passed a bill. It's called the DC Crimes Act. And the DC Crimes Act, basically, so in the District of Columbia, they consider anyone 24 and under a minor. Like, if you commit a certain crime, then you can get some leniency because you still considered a minor. And we all know the brain is not fully formed. To what age? My resident therapist? Well, I got 2. Hit me. When's the brain fully formed?
Oh, for men?
For men, yeah, 25.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that was the issue. That was the idea behind the bill being 24 and under. It can be wiped from your record if you do something. Well, Byron Donald, who has passed this bill, and it was recently passed about a week and a half ago by the House, now it's 18 and under. Now, here's the irony of the whole thing. When Byron Donald was 20 years, when he was 18, he caught a distribution of weed and possession of weed charge, right? When he was 21, he was arrested for check fraud, which is a felony. Now, he was able to get these things expunged, and he went on to go to college. He changed his life around, and now he's running for governor. He's a state representative for the state of Florida who's going to be running for governor. Now, under the law that he had passed, he wouldn't be eligible for any of that. He wouldn't be where he is today. So for people like him who, young men make mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
And should there be some leniency to a degree? Absolutely. And you are a prime example of what can happen when you get the opportunity.
Exactly.
When you get the opportunity to change your life around. So I hate Negroes like him, and just not thinking about your community or young people at all. You wrote a bad check, you got a fraud charge, and you was caught selling weed and possession. But you have the opportunity to become the governor of the state of Florida. So if anybody should be giving people leeway, it should be you.
Yeah.
So Byron Donald, you continue to show who you are, and we don't F with you. Continue ownership of conservative movement, and you won't be supported or ever invited to the cookout. All right. That's my thoughts on that. Any thoughts, anybody? Mr. Byron Donald? No, I'm not a political person. All right. So let's move on to tonight's topic. Can you text Joe and tell him to come on back? I really want to hear Joe's thoughts tonight. Yana says, no Diddy did replace pause, Dad. LOL. That's my kid.
Exactly.
All right. It's the age group. I'm 50 plus. Okay. All right. It's all insane if you ask me. Now, let's get to tonight's topic. I wanted to talk about I call this show Dancing with My Father Again. Positive and negatives of having your father in your life. Now, everybody pretty much knows my story. My dad was not there, although he was alive to a certain point, but I didn't know he was my father, but he knew. So I wanted to kind of touch on. I think we talk a lot about great dads who are doing great things and guiding and leading their children, but we never talk about us as adults, the impact that our dad had on us. So I really want to get into this topic right now. Even if you didn't have your father, you had a father figure or anybody that you could relate to that maybe gave you some knowledge or some nuggets to help you move your life along. Let's celebrate that person. And if your dad wasn't what you needed him to be, if you are comfortable, let's talk about that also. So I want to get right into my first question. How has your relationship with your dad shaped you as a person? Either one of you ladies. Monet.
Okay. I can go. Yes. My relationship with my dad continues to shape me as a bold and confident and sure woman. As a child, it gave me a level of security. Just some background. My parents were married for 15 years and then they split. So I was about 15 years old when they split. My dad was a force in the home. I also must say my mother was a force in the home as well. And my dad was strict enough. Like he gave us this healthy fear. And so very much present. He is the one I turn to for wise counsel. He is one of my best friends. And so he constantly stretches my perspective. He teaches me how to parent. He teaches me how to view life. So he is constantly shaping my world.
Wow. Awesome, man. Shout him out. What's his name?
Yeah. To my dad, some may know him as Warren. Others may know him as Kenyatta. More popular, people know him as Mo, hence Monet.
Northside.
Northside. Jefferson, baby. Yes.
I heard.
That's my daddy.
Okay,
That's
Mr.
my-
Warren, Mr. Mo, we got a lot of names.
You got some applause?
Oh yeah, I got it, but I haven't worked it into the.
I got it.
I haven't worked it into the soundboard. Don't
Big ups to Warren.
shout out to your father for that. Kira, any thoughts about that?
Yep.
Not my biological dad. No, I don't have any thoughts on that. That's probably another question that you'll ask about, the influences, because I have nothing to good about say about my biological dad. But as far
Not one thing.
as, huh?
Not one thing.
He gave me birth.
Oh, there it is.
He contributed to that. I got that to say.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. Well, speak about the man you want to speak about.
My grandfather.
Okay.
My grandfather had no children, actually. He married my grandmother after having all 5 of her children. And you would never know that my grandfather didn't have any children because he gave my grandmother everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. The checks went to her account and didn't go to his. So in their time, he at first, when they first started working, he would bring his check home and he knew she was the one who was going to cash it and give him his portion. But
I need a man like grandfather.
but you would never know that he never had children because the way he child reared and he stepped in and took the ownership while fathering with their biological father. They did it as a partnership. It just showed me that, men have the capabilities of doing amazing things, even if they're not your biological father. So I always will give my grandfather his kudos because he's deserving of it and so much more.
I know that's right. I want to give some shout outs to a couple of people that really kind of in different parts of my life brought me along. I want to start with Coach Alfred Hogan. He was my basketball coach back home. Shout out to Coach Hogan. He's still going strong. I want to shout out Curtis Bush. He was my 6th grade math teacher. The smoothest Negro ever. He was from Memphis. And, back when I was growing up, you was from Memphis, we thought you was the shit just because you was from Memphis. He was very smooth. He had a gold tooth. He was a math genius. And then I want to shout out Coach Bill Victory, who, when I got to Delaware, he took me from those men and brought me along to where I am to early adulthood. And then Carlton Gray, my OG to this day, he hired me my first job working with kids back in 95. And he's took me from 95 to where I am now. So to all of those men, any of my mistakes and foolishness, just understand it has nothing to do with y'all. It's my own bad choices. But thank y'all so much for just pouring into me. We still trying to bring Joe. Are you there?
That's amazing.
All right, we're trying to bring Joe in. All right, so my next question to you both ladies, are the qualities or habits you carried into adult relationships, are any of those things because of your dad or the men who reared you? Things that any of your habits or the qualities that you learned growing up, did you carry them into your adult relationships?
I would say so. I mean, I think my determination and sternness, my father was the first one that dated me. So he was the first one that brought me flowers. And so the standard that I have as it relates to men, it comes from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a high standard, huh? All right. What up, Mary B? How you doing, sis? Chime in. Kira, any qualities? Oh, we got Joe. Is Joe, you there? Okay, let me bring Joe back. Joe, I think Joe is back. It's all good, good brother. Joe, you're going to hop in on this question. So the current question is, are the qualities or habits, are there qualities or habits that you carried into your adult relationships because of your dad? All right, Kira, you were about to speak.
No, I was just going to say, with my grandfather, that, and sorry, that's the only man I could speak about. But with my grandfather, I've always been a person in a relationship that knows how to communicate and speak life into other people and not just look at the negatives that happen in relationships, but learn how to build and work for a successful, healthy relationship.
Right. Do y'all think the three of you, Joe? I wish to answer this question too, but do y'all think that men are better communicators now in 2025 than they were back in the day?
Absolutely.
I saw your face.
They have an opportunity to.
I thought y'all couldn't see me.
No, I saw that face. You right, your face right in the camera.
Right.
So Kira, what are your thoughts on it? Are men, you think as a whole, are men better communicators, you think, in 2025?
I think it's a work in progress. Yeah. No, but probably better as far as allowing the partner to have more to say. Like times have changed too. So I do think that the communication is different.
Nelly,
As well as being more expressive as too.
you think men are more expressive?
Yes, I think they have more space to be expressive, and they have been given more permission, and they have more language to be expressive.
So I have a question. I'm gonna let Joe jump in here, but I'm just gonna put this question out there so I don't forget. Is it being held against men who communicate and express their feelings? Pause. Joe, are there qualities or habits you have carried into your adult relationships because of your relationship with your dad?
I feel
Or
like
whoever
they
your
could-
male role model was?
Okay, all right. So yeah, my role model, I would say some like maybe trying to be better. I feel like my role models, they give me advice, but I don't think that there's qualities that stick out that I like apply to my life. Like I'm
Okay.
always a believer. Like I'm like, all right, I was a child, you raised me, but I, in turn, just grew up to be who I want to be, and so I don't think that there is anything that sticks out to me that I would say, oh, I get this from him, or
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair. So my question that I just asked you ladies before I went to the pause. Speak to it, Monet.
Can you repeat the question?
I know. I was thinking the same.
I forgot the question.
I'm serious drinking this scotch. I was hoping y'all remember it. Joe, you remember the question?
I don't. I need
Oh,
multiple choice. Like, what do
This
you-
dude is younger than me.
No, I remember the question. I remember
What's
the
the
question.
question here?
He he asks, do you think that it's held against men to be
Oh,
more
yeah.
expressive in these times? And I don't think it's held against men. I do believe that there's more support for men to actually get the therapy or help that they need when they need to express things or work on things. So I believe that it's not held against men, but I mean, some people might see it differently.
Nelly said men's they listen, but men's comprehension skills are limited. Hold on, Nelly. I'm gonna come back to you. You
Limited.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
All right, Monet, do you want to speak to that?
I mean, I think I agree with Kiara. I don't think that, but I think it's 50-50. It definitely can be held against men, depending on your worldview and your perspective or what a man should be. And so I think it's 50-50. It can be. Men run the risk. When they're expressive, they run the risk of it being held against them based on societal norms. And so
but there are some women who do that.
Absolutely.
You know, you share yourself with the women. Go ahead, Joe.
Like, what are we holding against them?
The standard of them not being the man, right?
Yeah, I think that there was a time. I think that there was a time, and probably still currently with some women who I think if a woman lacks emotional intelligence, let's start there. If a woman lacks emotional intelligence, then at some point she will use a man's his most vulnerable moments against him. She could use his most vulnerable moments against him, and not understanding how she will at that point set herself up for no more or very little communication from that man, at least vulnerable communication. So I think it takes a woman of a certain emotional intelligence to be able to handle a man who can share his feelings, emotional maturity, intelligence, all of it. So yeah.
Okay. And culture has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah.
You know, and so I mean, in their values and their model of a man. If their model of a man was pretty much mute and very authoritative, and so here you are, you're kind of what they would look like as being mushy because you're expressive, like it's contradicting to their values. And so they may not be able to be mature enough to handle that individual.
Right. Go ahead, Joe. You had a comment, Joe?
Like the newer generation would say they're sassy, or they automatically send them to being gay because. So I wonder if
Do y'all think that I've heard dudes be like if you're too nice to a woman, women would think you can be called sassy. If you're too sensitive, if you're too much of a gentleman, I think there are some women out here, and maybe the younger generation, because I have an 18 and a 26-year-old kid. But I think if you are, so I hear the thing, but I think men are judged sometimes because of if they're too nice to a woman, women don't want that. Like, which is the weirdest shit to me. I.C. Wilson said, "Go, Joe." And Nelly B says, I'm just going to read a couple of comments. He says, it's based on each individual's definition of a standard, so they can be held until it's truly understood. So I guess Nelly, the immature woman that think that, okay. So I think Nelly is saying that it just depends on the woman and what her standards are and how they will carry a man from that perspective. And she says, right, Monet. I don't know what Monet was right about, but yeah.
Everything.
All right, I want to go back to something Monet said. We jumping back really quick. Monet, you said something to me that resonated with me when you said with your father and growing up. There was a healthy fear.
Yes.
Not that when you walk in the room, you were traumatized and thought you was going to get beat. Yes. But there was a healthy fear, which I grew up with a healthy fear that I knew if I wouldn't left, my mom would fuck me up. Like, pretty much. It was no and ifs and buts. But as long as I was on the right track, it was kiss, hugs, I love you, son, I'm proud of you. But I knew I didn't want to go left of her because I knew the consequences. And I think today, for the most part, there isn't a healthy fear. Kids don't fear their parents anymore.
For sure.
What do y'all think about that?
I definitely agree that they have a different, I don't know, like a different level of I don't care almost when it relates to all structures of authority. It's almost like they feel like they're invincible or something, which it can be a good thing if used in the right way. But when it's used negatively, it affects them in a bad way, and they forget the state that we're in America right now. So sometimes that can be a very challenging thing, especially for those that they call the YNs.
I hate that phrase, but
I mean, I agree. I think one of the greatest nuggets my father gave me when I gave birth to my son is that you be his parent first and you be his friend later. And I think a lot of parents are too, they foster friendship with their children when they should be fostering the parent and child dynamic first. And so I think that diminishes that healthy fear.
Yeah. And I think when you become your child's friend, I think we know subconsciously it becomes part of us to say no to them or to not to give them what they want.
For sure.
So yeah, that's just something. Nelly B says, no, Eli, I was saying immature women. Thank y'all for the comments. It's moving. Immature women think men sharing vulnerabilities are soft.
Immature women, yeah.
Immature women, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
My daughter says, I think it has to be a healthy balance. I don't fear my parents. Well, girl, I don't fear my parents, but I do have a respect level I won't cross. So it's about how you raise the child to be. Yes, and you know, I am the parent that will talk to you, correct?
Yeah, but she's also 26, though, so she shouldn't be fearing you. I mean, you're in a different role.
Right.
You're now guiding and discipling her.
No, that should be a
versus like a 12-year-old.
Right.
Yeah.
But the respect has to remain because now I can swing on you as an adult. I can swing on you as an adult because you talking crazy to me. But no. I think there needs to be a healthy balance. She's absolutely correct. Nuri Thomas says, yes, my mom always said, I am not one of your little friends. I know that's right.
Yeah, shout out to Nora.
Yes.
No,
Oh,
shout out to her though.
all right. Shout out to Nora. Thank you, Nora, for tuning in. Nelly B says they foster friendship due to parental guilt. Get there.
And also unhealed. Yes, that's my Nelly B colleague. Also, I was going to go there too, Nelly. We parent out of our trauma, unresolved trauma, but that's a different show. I'm sure.
Do y'all think
Joe said, yeah.
Do y'all Joe, do you plan to become a parent at some point?
Huh?
Do you plan to become a parent at some point?
No.
Okay, all right. So Joe, I ain't mad at you. Dang, Joe made me lose my thought. Oh shit.
Yeah, no.
All right, forget it. I lost my thought. Let me read 2 more comments and I'm gonna go to the next question. Yana says, yes, LOL, you are the talking parent. My mom would just get down. Thanks, sis. See, you had a nice balance, E. Oliver Wolf folks says, this generation does not have a firm standard of what is right and wrong. There are no consequences or chastisement for most behaviors. So no need to fear or respect parents. I mean, I see it every day. Kira, you know, we all work with kids. We see it all the time. Kids will respect us before they actual parents who take care of them, who clothe them, who feed them, who buy them $200 sneakers. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Yeah. All right. Next question. If you are a parent or plan to be a parent, so Joe, that part was thrown in for you, or plan to be a parent, how has your upbringing influenced your parenting style? So let me say, I'll speak to me. So my upbringing was, my mom was stern, but very loving. And she would whoop some ass. Now, I wasn't the ass whooping parent because I always felt like at a point when I had kids and I could talk to them, I was always able to relate to kids so I could kind of get my point across. So I never had to really go there as far as like the physical discipline. So that part of my mom's parenting style, I thank God I didn't have to go there. But I definitely used her love, her kindness, and her affection. Now, I grew up in a house where I grew up in it because I said so house, and my opinion didn't matter. I would actually listen to my kids. I said, you can say whatever you want to say to me as long as you are respectful in how you're saying it. So has the way you were raised, how has it influenced your parenting style?
I could kind of piggyback off of what you said. I was raised in a household that was surrounded by showing each other love and making sure that we were brought up in a way that we knew independence and not solely dependent on like anybody else to figure things out for us. And I kind of do that with my daughter. And some people don't understand why I do it with my daughter. But I do see a lot of parents dying and stuff, and their kids having no idea of how to do daily things in life. Even parents that are still here, they have, adult children. Sometimes they don't know how to do things that they should be doing on their own. And so it make me kind of love my daughter, but also give my daughter the structure of showing her different skills and things that she can do at a young age, so that when she does get older, she won't have to kind of depend on anybody to do things for her. She'll be able to do it on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a parent, but I was raised in a village type of household. So I feel like I raised my nieces and nephews and godkids. Like they respect me that much that, and their parents, like, hey, when I walk in the room, like, if it's something ain't right, what's up?
Are you Uncle Joe?
Yeah, like what's up? What's the problem? I said sit down, and I don't have to worry about my friend or my sister coming behind me to say, "Don't talk to him like that." Walking right past him. What did he say? Why are you looking at me? So I feel like our family, we just knew. And like we would look at our adults, we could look at them in church, we could look at them at a funeral somewhere, and that look meant it's funny now, But when we get outside, we gonna have something to talk about, and it ain't gonna be nice. So I feel like, and it does. Like I was raised with, like, yes, what they say is, what they say, but they also are, they're gonna come back at some point to explain to you why they did what they did or they said what they said. So I
Right.
mean, yeah.
So now I feel like it's a great time to say they used to call you Batman, now they call you Crazy Joe. Am I the only one out here by myself know what that means? That's lean on me. Yo, you older people, not you, Joe. I think you're pretty young. You two older people are whack. All right.
What?
Because y'all didn't catch that.
I didn't catch it.
Oh, Yvonne Black says, my father said because I said so. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely the kind of house. No one listened to my opinion. No one cared about my opinion. And if I thought about giving it, I didn't, because I know the consequences of that.
Yeah. I was raised with the DuPonts.
The DuPonts?
The DuPonts. Yeah, I was raised with the DuPonts.
Oh, we had to bring you back, folks.
I say DuPont.
With little Miss DuPont and her sister. Yeah.
Say DuPont again.
DuPont.
It's very proper. I'm over here saying DuPont.
Yeah, I was raised with them. They got up in the middle of the night and did whatever they wanted to do.
Okay,
was the DuPonts. Yeah, they was the DuPonts.
DuPonts. Vinny says, nice banner. Appreciate you, big dog. Nuri Thomas says, I was frying chicken. This is I was frying chicken, cleaning up, paying bills, going to church, and holding down the family all by the age of 7. Damn.
Whoa.
I know people who, that older kid, like you come from a big family, that older kid is de facto parent number 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You get the smoke. You are doing the rearing. You are doing the cooking and the ironing because your parents are probably working, and you the oldest, you're expected to hold that down.
Absolutely.
That was my sister Shirley's life. She held us all down while my mama was around. And the thought of her saying, if I have to tell mama, well, that tightens you right on up. Mm-hmm. So they kept the house running. Icy Wilson. I love that name. Is that your real name or that's your social media name, Icy? I want to make sure my kids know that they don't need to be scared to talk to me about anything, no matter how big or how small. I think there's something to be said for that. I think people are really, so my 18-year-old daughter, we have a really great relationship. And when I tell you, we talk about everything to the point where sometimes I have to be like, all right, hold on. That's a little much for your daddy. Like she does not, she talks to me like I'm one of her homegirls, and I appreciate it, but sometimes it's a lot for me just because of the information. So I'm trying to process my kid saying these things to me and then trying to figure out how to give her the best course of advice. But I'm stuck on, you did that. So I haven't even gotten to the advice I need to give her. So I have to say, listen, sometimes let me get back to you. Give me a little minute, let me process. Then I'll come back with the advice because, when you haven't heard, when your kids start experiencing stuff and like you tell them, but then when they experience it, it's always way different from, it seems to be, what I'm going through, it seems to be way different from what I told her it would be. But I got to remember, I grew up in the 80s and the early 90s, and she is in, the 2020s. So it's a whole different ball game, and I'm so far behind. As great as I think I am, I suck at this sometimes, and I be holding on by a thread, trying to make sure I get her right. So yeah, I don't even know why did I start that banter.
I don't know, something Icy said.
Oh yeah. I want to make sure my kids aren't scared to talk about anything. So do y'all feel like that? And I know you don't have any children, but you have your nieces and nephews. Do y'all feel like that you have an open line of communication with your children? And how do you handle the information that you receive? Because I struggle sometimes.
I do. I mean, I have 3 children and I have 3 different children. And so I try to foster and create that open line of communication and respect. But I have 3 different children. With my oldest, very open, transparent. We've always had very good communication. With my middle child, she is a different type of communicator. And so it takes me to parent differently with her. And then with my youngest child, he's spicy. And again, a different type
Pause.
of right. It's a different level of parenting. And so you really have to go in your skills box, or you have to like pause seriously. And be like, all right, like for me, it's all right, Lord, like I need you to direct me on this.
Right.
Because the goal is the same. The goal is for us to have like this open pathway of communication. But if you have someone who's more of a reserved communicator or internal communicator, like whatever I do, they're just not going to communicate.
Yeah.
And that's, I have a child that's like that. And so, but I just take moments.
How different is your parenting style or the same for your son and your daughter?
Say that again?
How different is your parenting style, or is it the same for your son and your daughter? For your two that are in your house, is your parenting style different for each one? Because kids need different things from us.
Yeah.
Is it different because they're boy and girl, or is you just rule it the same way?
It's different based on personality. For the most part.
Not
really gender.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, there are some gender differences, but it's really based on personality that creates the difference.
Okay, gotcha.
That's my parenting style. Yeah.
All right, Kiara, parenting style.
I think for me, anybody tell you my daughter, she is like, I don't know, she was here before or something. But she's quick to come home and be like, Mom, let me tell you the tea. And so some people might look at that as like, oh, she might think that she's my friend, but I appreciate that she feels comfortable enough to come to me and actually say that. And she'll tell me the ins and outs of the different things that she's experiencing. And we sit down and kind of process what she's dealing with, if she's the problem or if they're the problem, and if we got a problem. No, but no, I don't know, it's different when you have one child, because you're literally trying to figure it out every single day. And when there's no like second child or anything like behind them or before them, you kind of like take it day by day and figure it out.
Right.
How old is your child here?
She is Lord 13
and 5'10".
Going on. Oh, okay.
I feel like she's an inch taller than me.
Okay, yeah.
Like K Money.
Listen to Joe, K Money.
So Joe, I know you have your nieces and nephews. Do you interact with them differently based upon them being boys, girls, or do they need something different from you? Each one of them.
I don't think so. I think they just put me in one nutshell. Am I like we supposed to be professional? Like, they just put me in like one category. That's my uncle.
Okay, all right. Make your job a little easier.
I'm the same, so I give them all the same. I feel like for the most part, but no, I think I'm the same all around. You gotta go home with your mom. I don't.
At the end of the day, good night.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Let me read a couple of comments here. Shout out to my boy Ben Rock. I appreciate you, dog, for tuning in tonight. So Nelly B says she grew up with Caribbean parents. Their communication skills suck, which left me to my own thoughts and tests. For example, sex is the devil. Me, is it though? That's what she would respond to parents. Is it though? So it has influenced me to keep it very true and very real with my kids and be very clear with consequences and emotional responses. I think it's hard when your parents take such a hard line on we're not talking about this, because I kind of grew up in that time where no one talked to me about sex. And all the bad advice I got came from my friends who were lying about what they were doing, or older dudes who gave you the worst advice. Like I might have been 12 and they're 18. You're telling me some nonsense, like, bro, like, come on. So I think a lot of young men grew up with a warped sense of what sex is, what relationships are, because you're being told at an early age, no, you're a player, dog. You got to have 4 or 5 chicks. No one ever, when you were a young boy growing up, at least back when I was a youngster, no one told me like, yeah, it's not cool to treat girls like that or to lead girls on or to have 3 or 4 girlfriends. No one ever said that. But you got the complete opposite of it. So I think parents who take such a hard line, who are not open to that communication because they're uncomfortable and no one did that with them, I think it does a disservice to their children.
I have a daddy story about sex. When I lost my virginity, I will not disclose the age. I had talked to my older sister,
AKA it was young.
my sister, my older sister, who is 10 years older than me. What'd you say, Joe?
Not young.
She was hot in the ass, Joe. She was hot.
Like, not young. Don't put that on her.
Thank you, Joe. And I confided in my older sister, and my sister, she was like, all right, now, if you get out of hand, I'm going to tell dad. And so I guess according to her, I got out of hand. I didn't know what that looked like. And so I was chilling at my girlfriend's house, my childhood friends. Shout out to Leah and Deja, 30th Street. And so I was chilling at Deja's house. We was like having a good time. My father called me and was like, hey, come on home. I got a surprise for you. My dad would do like stuff like little like mind games like that. Whatever. And so I come home and he's in the living room. And apparently my sister had told my dad, and he went on this whole rant about you're unpure and blah, blah, blah. And you talking about the level of shame and disappointment that I felt. But my brother and I, we always talk about how our parents were like the perfect combination. I was so crushed in that moment, and I understood. I didn't understand his frustration and disappointment, but I was hearing what he was saying, but it didn't feel good. And I went into the kitchen and I collapsed in my mother's arms, and she was able to give me the support and nurture me at that same time. So although I received that harsh discipline and he told me the importance of saving myself, which no longer existed, my mother was right there to pick me right back up.
Wow.
Yeah. And so had it just been my father, I think it would have created some type of internal bruise. But because I had my mother there to kind of be a different force, then I was able to really understand the meaning and not really internalize the shame.
Such a luxury. Wow.
Yeah.
Such a great luxury.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
What was y'all's conversations? What was your parents' conversation with y'all about like sex and relationships?
Zero. The music.
Mine was horrible. And you want to know why it was horrible? Because I was 26 years old when I finally decided to take that step.
What?
And
What's the problem? That pause.
And my mom, wait a minute. And my mom treated me like the devil himself came and picked me up.
At 26?
Yes.
We should have brought you a cake and a gift.
But there was never really a talk. It was just like how horrible, just like Monet, right?
Yes.
Just like Monet said, it was just like how horrible of a young lady I was.
Wow.
To have done that, and how much of a disappointment I was.
Wow. Joe, you any comments about what was your experience, your conversation about sex and growing up with your folks?
I don't. My mom was just straightforward. She would just be like, I know who you are. This is what can happen if you do it. Be smart, and that was it. My mom like mind her business. Like she wasn't in people business. Like she hated being in business.
So that's hilarious. Your mom saying out your business is what you saying.
That's it. Whatever happened, she dealt with it when it came.
I would have been buck wild if nobody minded my business. I had 9 kids by now. Let me read a couple of comments. Yvonne Black says, with my kids, I say no repercussion, no backlash. All right, I like that, Yvonne. She says, some children may be scared to discuss certain situations with you because they don't know how you react. And I think that's for the most part. If you don't have that rapport with your child, she is absolutely correct. Vinny says, we cannot project our experiences onto our children. or this generation at large. Meet them where they are and learn from them.
For sure. For sure.
Very good, right? That's good. That's good. Nelly B says, yes, keep it very open and honest with these kids because the world ain't holding back. Facts.
Yeah.
So I refuse to let the world be my kids' only teacher. I'm very blunt and truthful. I know you are, Nelly.
Yeah.
With them, and I love it. I think my 15-year-old son gets embarrassed. I know he does, but gets embarrassed by it. Oh, well. Joe, my boy says, no professional responses, Joe. Max Julian, shout out to you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. He says, shout out to Monet.
That's my brother.
Okay.
Shout out, brother.
What up, brother? Ben says, trust your parenting process. There's no book to this parenting thing. Facts. Max says, shame is needed sometimes for clarity in the lesson. Let's talk about that.
Wow, come through. Come through.
Like that. Let me read this one more time. Shame is needed sometimes for clarity in the lesson.
Come through, Kenyatta.
I don't know if I do the shame thing. He got me rethinking my approach now. Because I feel like if I do the shame thing, it's going to cut off communication. And I could be wrong. I don't know. But I feel like that's something that my parent would have done with me, though. Like, made me feel so bad about. I remember when I discovered masturbation. I could never tell my mom I was doing that. Because I didn't have a man to share that with.
It was shameful, yeah.
It would have been like, you're going to hell.
Yeah.
But she didn't know that when a young man discovers that, it's like, I never been on crack. But I got a feeling it's the equivalent of being on crack, being a crackhead. You gotta do it all the time.
What did I say? What shame? Shame is needed sometimes
for clarity in the lesson.
Wow.
Is that a method you use with your children? Have you?
No. But it definitely has been my experience, though.
Okay.
As I just stated. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Max says the question becomes, how did that shameful moment shape the ladies in their present selves? Did y'all have shameful moments? And Joe, this goes for you too. Did y'all have shameful moments that may have shaped you into your present self?
I have, for sure. It's a part of the process.
You feel free to share or not. I don't want anybody to feel like, you know. So.
I don't know. Yeah,
Joe said, I'm Joe.
Joe said, I'm Joe. It's like, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Because I feel like, don't judge me. Like, don't judge, like, I don't know. Don't judge me. So, yeah, I don't know. That's hard.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me read another comment. When did we transition to the thought that discipline and correction is supposed to be compassionate and not hurtful? Isn't this mind frame along the same lines as young people not understanding consequences or repercussions? I think, that is the way you and I were raised. I think that you can be stern and disciplined, and all these things can be true. You can be stern and you can be a disciplinarian, and you can also be compassionate towards your child.
Yeah.
Because the one thing we don't want to do, I know we're always going with this because that's how I was raised. I think that we would do our kids a disservice and push them away from us if all we do is give the beat down without the compassion.
For sure.
That's my opinion. I think it should be a little bit of you got to do both. Balance is the key. Max, the same with love, like Moni said, the balance is key. Exactly. Eli, if the behavior is corrected, isn't it worth it to possibly lose communication briefly? And that's how I lived. I would be silent, like, hate her under my breath, of course. And I didn't want to talk to her. And I didn't like my mom, but I knew she loved me. Like when I got a little older, like when I became a teenager, I knew why she did certain things because I saw my friends going down certain paths. So that alone kind of pulled me up. And I never wanted to disappoint her because I was so in love with my mother. I never wanted to disappoint her, but she was all I had in my head. So my experience is a little bit different. Nelly says masturbation like a crackhead though. Yeah, Nelly B, listen. Because you discovered accidentally, I did. So once you get it, it stays with you till you die. All right, I'm get to my last question because we're getting short on time. Y'all, I want to just thank y'all in advance. I'm gonna thank you again, but this has been such a great conversation. Let me ask you this right here. I got two. How do I want to end it? I'm gonna go with this first question. So, what do you wish had been different in your relationship with your dad or your parent or your uncle, whoever guided you through that process? what do you wish had been different in that relationship? Is there anything, any regrets, any thoughts? Or are you cool with the way you were raised because it made you who you are today?
Yeah. I don't think I would wish anything be different. I mean, my father was stern. I remember us like being asleep on the weekends, and he used to work at Chrysler or in the summertime. And he would be like, "Get up. I gotta get
I'm
up,
a
y'all."
Chrysler kid.
You know, but yeah,
That's an old school.
you know, it instilled a work ethic in me.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and so I mean, there wasn't much communication between my mother and my father as it relates to them talking to their children about some of the topics that we've just talked about. But I don't know if I would change that. I mean, I have changed it in the way that I parent, and I think it was inevitable just because of the time that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
But they were amazing. They are amazing. And so they've always had the priority of their children, of love, of support. I am one of five, and the love that they show me is the love that they show my oldest brother, my children. And so I don't know if I would change anything.
Okay. All right. Joe or Kiara, next up, either one of you.
I would just say for my biological father to show up and just be consistent. That's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. That's fair right there. All right, Joe. You want to end it here?
Yeah, I feel like I wanted a little bit more lessons in the why in the lesson. Like, what are you from my father? I feel like my father was a financially present father, and I was okay with that. Like, daddy wasn't there to take me to the fair, but he'll pay for it. So like, I was a Chrysler kid, and I was okay with that. Like,
Oh, you live well. You live well.
Delaware. Like, we was the Huxtables of Delaware. Like, if your family
No, we were actually the Huxtables of Delaware.
yeah, we were. Like, we had the picture of the Cosbys in our house. Like, we were the Huxtables.
The model of the family. Wow.
Hey, Joe, where did you grow up at?
I'm sorry?
Where did you grow up at?
In New Jersey. But my grandfather and my grandmother lived in Wilmington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On the grounds that are now currently known as Morris.
Yeah.
All right. Let me read one more comment. Two more. Max says, "I'm definitely fine with how I was raised. I love who I am with my flaws, and it wouldn't be if it were not for my parents." What up, Rock? James Larry from back home. What up, brother? Tough love is why we're so successful. Exactly, Rock. I do feel like tough love was a necessity, but we need that other side also. Max says, "Yeah, Chrysler GM family. Absolutely. I know some people who live well. When I moved here, where parents work at? Oh, he works for out in Newport.
Exactly.
He built cars. So people live well.
We was like, we was the Huxtables.
Yeah. Let me say, I'm gonna say this right here. Nelly B, I'm gonna get to your comment. I got you. I'm gonna get your comment now. I think we can see that. I wish this is Nelly says, I wish my dad had healed and learned how to overcome or cope with his unresolved issues so he would be more emotionally available and love us more. So for me, I'm the only daughter.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's real.
Yeah.
The older parents, oh my God, absolutely. I have Yvonne Black says, I have no regrets. I wish we were as close as we were when I became an adult. Says 100% cool with my pops. Solid dude, God led. All right, that's what's up. So I'm gonna say this. I just wish he would have been there because I was and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I've never been in jail. I've never been arrested. I've never had any troubles. I always got good grades. I was always on the honor roll. I was a great athlete. I think if my pops had been around, he would have been very pleased with who I was as a young man and who I've become as a man. So I really hate I didn't get to sit. This is one thing I tell Vinny, my homeboy Vinny, I'm so jealous of. Like, you can actually sit and have a beer with your dad. Like, I always wanted to be able to sit and have a cold beer with my father as a young man, and we sit there and talk as two men. So that's something I definitely wish I could have had. And so the people who have their parents still in this world, man, cherish them. Life comes and goes very quick. So I say love hard and appreciate the people who love you. And yeah, man, let's just all love on each other, man, and let's be great at the end of the day. Max Julian, hey bro, thanks for tuning in. Oliver, Yvonne Black, Isis, James, Nelly B, Ben Rock, everybody who's tuning in tonight, man. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. And to my guests, thank you so much. And we all get together, drinks on me. I appreciate you guys so much, man. And I'm going to say in closing, love who loves you. Have a great night, y'all. We will see you in 2 weeks. Peace.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Straight out the South, Arkansas, where the talk is real and the vibe is raw. This South got something to say. No filters, no faking, just the truth, how we see it.